Shri Krishna completes teachings on tapa or renunciation. In verse 18, he shares those who are filled with rajas, that is aggressiveness, they live, they renounce, where they are focusing on gain for themselves. Those who are filled with aggressiveness, their tapa or renunciation is gain for themselves. In verse 19, those who are filled with tamas, filled with darkness, they engage in tapa or renunciation, not to gain for themselves, but rather to harm others. Harm others. That is very different. It is much worse. If I don't live for me to be happy is one matter, but if I live to make you unhappy, that's a very different matter. Now, I don't want your commentary to say, Vivek, you are like that. For 1,200 mornings, you've been living to make us unhappy. We can just sleep in if it weren't for you. We continue into verse 20. 15, now 20. Datavyam iti yaddanam diyate nupakarine deshe kale cha patre cha taddanam satvikam smritam. Joy. Shri Krishna is a master teacher. You've heard that many times. I hope you feel this many times. In the fourth quarter, smrita. Prince Arjuna, in this appendix, please note. But what I'm about to describe to you in the first three quarters, Dhanam Satvikam, your contribution will be based on quietness if these conditions are met. Shifting from tapa to dana, from renunciation to contribution, you renounce yours and give to others. That's the logic. Datavyam. This word means contributing is one's responsibility. We say it's an opportunity, not an obligation, and I get it, because there's lots of people who are not into Bhagavad Gita, but really it is an obligation. Is brushing your teeth an obligation? It is, very technically. You may not feel it is. I feel it is. You may not feel it is, but the point is that you do it. This is part of who you are. Datavyam, this is your responsibility. Diyate, this responsibility should be gifted with what intention? Anupakarine. Once following through with their responsibility, giving in an unconditional way. Anupakarine, if you take this into an intense definition, means to someone who's useless. I think we do that with ourselves, you know? To give to someone who's useless, the point being, this is not an exchange. Not an exchange. I'm not giving to get. If someone is useless here, I don't have that intention that you can give me anything. Plus, if it's my responsibility, I already won't think, what do I get? If you remember when we went through these verses, I really tried to destroy the notion in ourselves, in our regulation of ashrams and mandirs, to stop putting our names on kitchens and classrooms and trees, those donation trees. Those who have come to Niagara, Cleveland, your name is there too, but it's in marker. And I spelt it wrong. So who? Which Deepa is it? Zooming into the more intense specifics. This responsibility, which is to be unconditional, should follow rightness in terms of desha. Desha means space. Now, if you're going to read this literally, you should donate in the right space. That means where Wi-Fi can't be corrupted. That means only in your home where there's a firewall. Here, don't donate. It's public Wi-Fi. Space here means large-heartedness. Space, large. Large what? Having a large heart. Yesterday, a seeker from Michigan, her name is Sangeeta, she was speaking on Dakshina. And she had shared, if you analyze your bank account, your checking account, your savings account, your retirement account, when you give Dakshina, does it affect your lifestyle? Many who don't give, yes, of course it doesn't affect my lifestyle, but it should affect your lifestyle. That's the point. Tapa means to burn. I should change because I've given. That's large-hearted. Then kale, that's in reference to time. It seems very contrary in messaging. This is your responsibility, but there should be the right time. Here, this means long term. One's contribution should be with a large heart for the long term. And finally, patre. Patre means vessel. We tend to make our contribution to humans we know. That's why many of the people here, if you analyze your contribution, the maximum will be to our Chinmay Mission Centers and to your community mandirs. But patre doesn't mean human. Patre means purpose. Greater than a person is a purpose. I'm not even including presents. How do you give to Sri Krishna? He's the original Dhananjaya. To shift our giving from that which we're comfortable with, those people we know, to a purpose, that which we are not comfortable with personally, meaning it helps us grow. Final reflection. Yesterday on Chinmay Nagra's social media and Chinmay Mission Cleveland social media, you would have seen a workshop that's happening on Sunday, April 14th. The theme of this workshop is a workshop on developing a culture of giving. Because we chant, we give more than what we consume. We chant it. But are we active with this? What if we could be trained on the culture of giving? What if we can be trained on datavyam iti yat dana? This is what we're going to do in this workshop. It's being facilitated by a really great team called Philanthropy for Society. Mature communities shouldn't be giving to themselves. They should be giving to that which is more large and long, that's society. Zooming into this very specifically, I'm planting the seed in your mind. We'll reflect more tomorrow. When we started Bhagavad Gita's chapter 3, I had shared there's 5 karmas. The best 2 are Naimittika and Nitya. My special responsibilities and my regular responsibilities. That's the best. Same being shared here. In my mind, the Nitya karma relating to this verse is for seekers, for this community, to give, to contribute on a monthly basis. Where, in my case, to our Chinmaya Mission community. Why? This helps with maintenance. Okay? Then, our Naimittika karma, this is our special responsibility. That's to give on a, from monthly to calendarly. as in a yearly basis. That is not to our Chinmaya mission community. That is to special purposes like for humans, for animals, for plants, for stones. That's not for maintenance, that's for capital. Capital in our own society. Please reflect on that. Chapter 15 is teaching about limitlessness. 16 and 17 are helping us to feel this. In 16, how to raise our lifestyle. In 17, how to raise our likeness. Our likeness is based on faith. Do we have lots, less, or little? Our first verse in this chapter was 15. It is in the tapa section. Tapa means renunciation. It means changing. This verse is on filters to apply when speaking. Filters to apply when speaking. Speak like this, don't speak like this. When one follows through with such filters or parameters, they become more aware. And if you become more aware and more aware and more aware, eventually you rediscover you are awareness. People who live in a careless way never feel that they are consciousness. Next, we took up verse 20. There's been a shift from tapa to dana. And the fuller spectrum, tapa is to conserve, yajna is to channel, and dana is to create. This is the order. I conserve, that's my practices in tapa. By conserving, then I have to channel everything I'm conserving. That's yajna, my dedication. And if I live like this, where there's dedication and sacrifice, I'm the beneficiary. So naturally then, this is expressed as dana. I can create what I'm feeling for others. You can only share what you have. Once you have this independent joy or a taste of it, you create this for others. I'm chanting the verse, and then I'll just share one more quote before we continue. Datavyam iti yad danam diyate nupakarine deshe kale cha patre cha taddanam satvikam smritam. That gift which is given to one who does nothing in return, knowing it to be a duty to give in a fit place and time to a worthy person, that gift is held to be sattvic. There's a song I listen to called Love and Hate. And in this song, a lyric stood out very strongly for me. It is, you can't steal the things that God has given me. You can't steal the things that God has given me. If you think of all of the articles around you, someone can steal those. In fact, someone will steal those when the body becomes older and the body dies. And so dana is one being proactive, that the relative is relative, and that's why I'm not holding on to this. That's a really lovely lyric that helps us to be proactive.